Find out that um, what longevity represents, and then we're going to get in. But I want to have everybody kind of introduce themselves real quick. So we got a couple of. How many? Is anybody else left out in the front, brother?
No.
Okay, cool.
I'm actually the backup.
Okay, no problem. Thanks. So the focus right now is before we start talking about presentation and what we're here for, if you don't mind, let's kind of introduce ourselves again, so everybody knows everybody. Because right now, it's really about you getting used to the building. Because we're gonna that's my phone. I bet we're gonna be running patients through this building for treatments, and the patients that come through here will be kind of our first wave. And William will talk a little bit about what we have. We have a treatment location in Tuscan now, in Orange County. And we've got a location opening in Hawaii right now. We're working on the details of that. Then San Diego's opening up, and then Vegas is next. So we've got a rollout. And the focus today is explain the rollout, but also explain the benefits of association with the longevity clinic. And a lot of you may know about stem cells or may know about exosomes, but the issue is we have to be realistic and say the average person that needs this treatment cannot afford it. So we've created a model so everybody can afford it. And that's where I came in, because the focus is that, I got into stem cells in 2015. I'm all over the web, new biologics. We opened 10, 15 clinics. We built a 17,000 square foot stem cell treatment center in Duluth, Georgia. And then the FDA showed up. All that went south. So I'll leave it at that because things change. So when our partners came to me and said they basically talked about the new medical file for the stem cells and how they're in the fourth level, it's fourth stage, I said, wait a minute, how'd you get that? That is like right now there's a certain country thinking about buying stem cells from this group only and not having any stem cells available in their own country. So there's a lot of stuff going on around the world in the stem cells exosome industry, but the first stem cell surgery was here in the 60s, and it was a bone marrow transplant. So it's crazy how stem cells started here and got kicked out of here. So what we're trying to do, it sounds like we're trying to bring everybody home. We're really trying to bring everybody home, because like Kobe went to Germany to get his tendon regrown, okay? And a lot of celebrities have been going to Singapore for years. That's the Hollywood place. A lot of wealthy Koreans go to Jeju Island. I mean, Jeju Island, just on the erectile dysfunction, 50,000 patients a year at an average of $75,000 per treatment. Wow. And we want to bring it all here. So one of the advantages of being here today is we're gonna lay out the strategies and where we need help. We need you to be able to help us by plugging in your experience as we move to the market. And my background is really simple. I started out as a kid in my parents' garage in Amway. And so I was packing products as a kid for my mom. It gave me $20 a week. But as I started going into college, I was going to do kinesiology as my major, but I switched over. Then I was going to do legal. Then I saw I didn't like lawyers because I had too many in my family already. And I joined the military because college was boring. So as I've grown up in the industry of supplements, my mom died of a misdiagnosis for her diabetic medicine. And then my children's mother dealt with endometriosis for like ever until they had to remove her uterus. So when you think about your personal life, and then my stepdad, he had battled cancer for 12 years. He finally died in 2020. And my biological dad died of COVID in 2020. So if you think about us as a people, we all have those stories. But stem cell and regenerative medicine is a brand new paradigm shift in thinking. The issue is that Big Pharma is, they're going to hold on as much as they can because it's kind of their playing field, okay? But right now the focus is to explain to you what we have and basically have you tell us from your own experience how do you feel you can help us tell the story? And that's really, hey, Doc, just grab that phone. Doc, grab the phone right there. Turn it off, thank you. So going back to the focus is, how do you help us tell this story? Because, you know, I've done 15 to 30 million stem cells myself, okay? And every few years, I always get it. Last few years, I hadn't had time because I've been traveling. But the one thing interesting is, I'll be 57 this year, and all of my friends that I was in the military with, played football in high school with, or college, are on 3 to 4 medications. I'm on 0 medications, unless they got something for crazy. Wow. So what I'm saying is, so I know stem cells work, and I've been an advocate to tell people, if you have an injury, because again, I can't diagnose, cure, or do anything for you. I just know personally for me, every time I've taken stem cells, it's weird. I dropped like 18 pounds. I feel like I'm 20 again, literally jumping over the fence versus going through it. So I don't know what a stem cell or an exosome treatment can do for you, but we've got to make this medication available for everybody. That's what our end game is. In fact, do me a favor, let that person into the Zoom. If you look on that laptop, click admit. Thank you. So what happens is, physically, we all know we're getting older, okay? And the challenge with getting older is, I don't like getting old. Y'all like getting old? I don't like feeling like, and all that stuff. I have no interest in getting old, okay? So one of the benefits of stem cells and exosomes is, even if we can't cure death, it'd be nice to take something to cure issues. Issues in the sense of your knees, your back. You know, sometimes you get that fog where you go, oh, I know I put my keys right there. I mean, all of us are going to experience it. The issue that we want to fight, which is our mission statement today, is how do we as a team come together to have enough patients come through this facility to help the facility in Tustin, the San Diego facility. I've contacted 3 international Chinese airlines already to do medical tourism in, right now, Hawaii. Spring Tour Travel is owned by some friends of mine right here in Diamond Bar. They bring in about 1.6 to 1.7 million mainland Chinese people to visit the United States every year. Everything in COVID, you know, changed everything, but I've been working with them since 2016. So now I've talked to them and they said, look, if your stem cell treatments and your exosome treatments are legitimate, then we can make that a mainland China package for mainland Chinese people to fly here to Arcadia, San Diego, or to Hawaii. So I don't know what your network looks like, but we're setting those things up, and where we need help is we need people to help us tell the story. Because maybe a year from now, the insurance companies will pay for our treatments. Wow. We're in the 4th stage, right, Doc?
I hope they do.
Yeah, Doc and I are talking about it. We're that close from being able to have it picked up by insurance. We're not there yet. But if we have enough testimonials to go through the Longevity Clinic Research Institute, then we can kind of force the issue. And that's why we need help. We need people to get treated, to get the testimonials, to keep our master file full of third-party testimonials of clients having a real result. If we work together, then everybody will win, because eventually the insurance companies will pick up stem cells and exosomes as a product that everybody in America that has insurance could have paid for. So really it's up to us. And I say this not to put pressure on you, but understand that when you come here on the next Saturday meeting, we can't have it in here because we'll have 100 people here. So this is a core foundation of people to say, we need your help. We need to start telling the story, because before we start putting agents and brokers in place to market this, we want you to give us advice on what to do. Because we may know the product, we may know the results, we may know the testimonials, but it's time to put this building to work. And I don't say that to disrespect the owners that are here before me. I just say this is something that cannot keep being hid from the world. And if you help us share the story, we can force the insurance companies to be able to pay for it. That's the focus today. So what I want to do is, why don't you introduce yourselves again, and then we'll have William come up and talk about the vision and the things we have in place. So brother, start with you again. Name and where you're from.
Giới thiệu mình ở đâu và mình làm cái gì.
At the moment, I'm living in the Fort Valley City. Yeah, and I have just been here only 2.5 years from Vietnam.
Nice. Nice.
And at the moment, I'm in the real estate investor.
Oh, that's good. Smart business.
That's it.
Thank you, brother. I don't know how you're gonna use like.
Yeah, and then he's also he was the CFO of a large bank in Vietnam as well.
Oh, nice.
For many years.
Yeah, because when we go into Vietnam, part of what we're gonna need help with is if insurance doesn't cover it, finance packages.
Yeah.
So once we get to where we're opening countries, we'll have to have your help. Because again, some people may not be able to afford it out of pocket, but if we set financing up in countries, when we start going in, opening up what we call remote centers, then we're gonna need your help with financing some situations, okay?
Yeah.
It's very good. All right, how are you gonna do yours? You gonna flip it?
It's easy. Okay, so hello everyone. So my name is Alan Beauford. I migrated to the US in 1985 as a boat refugee from Vietnam. I came here when I was close to 10 years old. I worked since I was 4 or 5 years old, with my mom at the market in Vietnam. And when I came to the US, I go to school and I also work around 10 years old. So I opened my first insurance agency as a broker when I was 19 years old. So after 22 years, I sold that business. But during the time that I did the insurance, I made good money. So I became a real estate broker. So did a lot of real estate, and now I still do real estate as well. I also dabbled into film producing. So I made several films with a lot of awards around the world. I also got into immigration work, where our firm, we built many assisted living and memory care facilities for seniors. So we also do the EB5 program for people who invest in the other countries as well. And then when I'm bored, I just dabble into antique sales. So I like to collect antiques and sell antiques as well. And then also do a lot of charities and help people around the world. So I think this is a great company. Once we find out about the product, and the product can help heal a lot of people around the world, can help fix a lot of pain, a lot of people who are in pain. And I think, there's something that we can follow to help people around the world. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, brother. Then Joseph, start with you and work the table.
All right. Sorry, excuse me. So I'm Joseph, the son of Alex and Jean. So I'm also going into real estate. I'm becoming a licensee, a real estate agent.
Oh, wonderful.
So currently in the works right now. Haven't been licensed yet, but we'll be coming through as a real estate agent for Century 21 Americana. So we're all from Las Vegas.
Ooh,
Yeah. So
very nice. The city that never sleeps.
yes, neither do we.
Right there. We work 29 hours a day, man.
Oh, you're from Vegas too?
Yeah, I got a house there too.
Oh,
Go ahead, Doc.
very
This is
nice.
my super doctor right here.
Uh-huh.
Doc G. I'm sorry. I put you on the spot.
Sorry,
Go ahead.
I missed it. I missed like 10 minutes speech. Sorry, I don't know if I already catch up now because
No.
Jason cannot find the location.
He
yet.
can't?
He cannot.
Where's my
So
phone?
if someone can
I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gene, tell them about you, please.
Oh, okay.
Let me call it.
Gia đình này từ Vegas.
Okay.
Ở Vegas qua đó. Để học cái
So by the way, retired though. So I already retired for like 5 years already.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, but my previous career is a medical doctor as well. But I have my own clinic, my own product.
Bà là bác sĩ.
Yeah, for the aesthetic laser. So we do all the injection for the Botox, Dermaden, something like that. And also, we are open assistant living as well. So that's
Oh, okay, very nice.
pretty much like same patch.
Okay.
The first time I know the stem cell for many years ago, but I just never touch it because we only do aesthetic, so just do all the injection, pretty much like that. But I never involved until John mentioned about the longevity, the FDA approval for this medication. So that was so, I was so surprised because I heard that stem cell like long time ago, but there's no one got the FDA approved. Even they just registered, but they already promote like, oh my God, it's kind of like already so popular, but was like that. Okay, so when I heard already approved by the FDA, so that was bring my my eyes blinking. I feel like, oh my God, that is what I'm waiting for, because all the patients I have, they are all trying to they trying to judge their life and healthy and beauty in the same time. Okay, so I already in this field for a long time, like 15 years ago, 15 years. My personal field, I have like 3,000 patients. They are all, pretty much. If I send them, we already have this medication. They will just jump in.
You're gonna make everybody beautiful.
Yeah, it's not only beautiful; it's for
Healthy,
health.
yeah.
Mostly from healthy, because the stem cell and exosome. Exosome is more,
Hi, Dominic.
it's more higher technology between like stem cell. But before that was just only stem cell. Okay, stem cell is already very powerful, but exosome is more like higher technology. So that's why I'm very
Great.
confident
Thank you.
to join this company.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Alex. Partner as family member.
Great. Well, happy Father's Day to all the
Yeah,
fathers here.
thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they used to do the multi-investment, like on couple restaurants, and also the reception centers. And so far, right now, I'm doing the real estate and the Metagrow coins. Yeah. And the most important things, that's
Excellent.
this subject. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's all. Yeah. That's all I'm doing so far. Just like she said, we have been retired for 5 years.
Wonderful. The restaurant is a Chinese restaurant?
The Japanese restaurant.
Ah.
Yeah, and the Filipino restaurant.
Ooh, okay. Oh, very nice.
And yeah, just the Metagrow coins, cryptocurrency, bring us back to the life, and
We have
John bring me back to the market.
I mean, the cool part is eventually you'll be able to buy that token and get your treatments.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's a long game with that.
Okay. That's new. Great.
Last way, I have to say bye-bye to my retired life. And
Special me, special me.
and work for the other 2 or 3 years, and then start to plan for the for the second retirement. Yeah.
Great. Okay. Wonderful.
Cannot be tired.
Alex, real quick, because we got a hard stop. We have Dynacord going to do 11:30 presentation for us.
Okay.
And the reason that it's important to know about the other partners is that, and I'm gonna have William come up and tell you a little bit about Dynacord. So we're gonna hard stop, but we're gonna pick right back up with you after that. Okay. So William, basically, he's part of the management team and part of the executive board. So William has been my right hand to get so much stuff done for y'all so fast that without him, we wouldn't be here. So give him a hand if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Come to the Longevity Clinic Research Institute. This is our home, and which is will be everybody's home in the future. Today's I'm very fortunate having the opportunity to meet up with so many friends coming from Las Vegas, coming from local, the hometowns. Allow me to using a couple minutes give you what today's program. So started from 11:30 that we will having the video conferencing with our Dynacord teams, which is the production labs that producing the Exosomes products, and the Longevity Clinic Research Lab, which is our holding company, that is an exclusivity for the marketing rights. And So the Longevity Clinical Research Institute is the what we call the treatment center, which is we do for a clinical trial. Later on, I will give you the tours of our facility. At 11:30, we're gonna have the conference meeting with the Dynacore. So before the meeting, I would like to invite our chairman, Mr. Frost. Yes, I just have a word with us.
All right, for us.
I want to thank you all for coming out. We're looking to do some very exciting things. Some familiar faces here, so that's a good thing. But yeah, we're about to, like he said, we're about to get on a Zoom at 11:30 with the actual doctor who is coin phrased. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. It's coin phrased Godfather of Exosomes. You know, he's the one that actually first figured out what exosomes were when people were looking at stem cells and seeing secretion. They didn't know what it was. He looked deeper into it to see what it was. He's out of Germany, but now he's here in the U.S. So if there's any questions before, that happens, because that's about to get on and we want to keep, time going good. So if anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to ask. Everybody good?
Yeah, I think, and going back to, I want to talk a little bit, when you get to know Ferris, one of the good things about the team here is everybody's focused on the end game. That's when I said early today, you may be here learning about something, but you've got to think about now, what can you contribute to push us forward? Because starting Monday, it's full tilt boogie in this building. Okay? So again, whatever your network is, whatever your ideas are, do not be uncomfortable in sharing them. We don't know everything,
Yeah.
But we need your help.
And we have a ton of resources, so the best you could do is ask for something. You know what I mean? We recommend it. We are a team. No one works for anybody. We work together. We have a ton of resources, so use them. That's what they're there for. That's why we have them. And I mean, anything you need, we can make sure you have. As long as everybody follows the guidelines, protocol, does everything the right way, because you got to remember, what separates us from everybody else is the gray area. Everybody else is in the gray area. We're actually doing this the right way with FDA approvals. We're not looking to play around with that, you know what I mean? So anything you might want to ask, anything you want, do not hesitate. Reach out to anybody from the team. Go ahead.
Okay, so I brought new friends. His name's Ben, and I guess a lot of people here came from Vegas and other places here. So could you share a little bit about your background and also why you found this company and the reason why you did
So
that?
I initially don't have a medical background. Yeah, my background's in intelligence. I worked for the government for a very long time. I was a consultant for big firms, a lot of them pharmaceutical firms. I had a friend who got into exosomes. I didn't even know what they were. This was about 8 years ago. I invested with him and we kept moving forward. We were trying to figure it out. I had no idea what exosomes were, but then when I seen with my own eyes the potential and what it does, it was very important to me to be a part of it after that. It's one of those things that we know we're not going to cure people's diseases, but I'm one of those individuals who has lost a lot of people, and I sat there and watched them wither away, and so there was nothing I could do about it. And when this came along and I started seeing the research behind it and a lot of the case studies and whatnot, I seen we had something real. And like I said, we're not going to be curing people with it, although it is being used as a delivery system for cures and different medicines. But the point is, we want to improve the quality of life. I'm one of those firm believers. I don't mean to offend anybody with this, but I believe when God has it set for you to go, you're going to go. When your time comes, your time's going to come. But it's the quality of life you live until then. And so if we can, make somebody a little more comfortable before that time comes, why not? And that's mainly what, we do. We do have a policy, 10% always goes right back into the community. It's a lot more than that, We don't turn anybody away. that's the main reason I got into this. You know, I got tired of standing on the sidelines when I knew I could do something about it, so I decided to do something about it. If there is anybody who needs help, you know, you have one of your doctors, physicians reach out to you and say, hey, you know what? This individual doesn't really have the financial means or whatnot. We don't turn anybody away. No one's getting turned away. No one, that's not the point of this. That's not what we're trying to do. You know, this is not a cash cow. You will make money. Yes, you're going to make money. But you're going to get that good feeling. You're going to get that feeling of being able to help people, being able to change people's lives. And that's mainly what our goal here is at Longevity Labs, is to improve the quality of life, one. And number two is give access to those who normally wouldn't have access to something like this. You know, we're not gonna have a mother or father, you know, mortgage their home in order to treat their kid. That's not gonna happen. You know, so again, that's one of the things where I say, hey, you know, we have the resources, reach out. If you do come across something like that, hey, reach out to us. Say, hey, you know what, I have a physician who explained 1, 2, and 3 to me. And then we'll take it from there. But with that being said, you know, we're very excited about what we're doing here. We're very excited about where we're going. We're very excited about what we've been seeing, you know, and I'm glad you guys are all going to be a part of it. It's going to be a fun ride. And like I said, don't hesitate. Anything you guys might need, just let us know. All right?
Hey, thanks,
right.
guys.
Okay, thank you very much, Frost. So let me introduce myself before. Yes, go ahead.
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. By the way, so yeah, can you show the FDA approval for the master file?
Do you have that?
Yes, we have it.
Okay,
Okay.
so it'll be
And
this
then,
presentation.
Okay, sure. And then the second question is, how many years we have a clinical trial in this location for the human? I mean the human.
Okay, so
started
this one,
in this location.
yeah, this location here is only doing 2 right now.
2 cases.
2 case studies that we're trying to prove, because see, again, our approval does not give us the right to make any claims. That's one thing I hope they made clear to you guys, that we cannot make any claims yet until we prove it. And the 2 we're working on right now, one is wrapped up. The inflammation one is pretty much a done deal. You know, but the main one we're working on right now, because we're so excited about, you know, the patients we've been working with also. But the ones we're working on right now are stroke patients who might be, you know, paralyzed due to the stroke. And the second is arthritis. And those are the current ones. And then the way we're doing it right now is we're working with doctors also. So, you know, if you come across any doctors who are interested and are looking to start an IND, or it's their area or their expertise, and they just need help, you know, a lot of doctors might not have the resources to do it, might not have the know-how to do it. We do, and we can help do it. But again, the main point is it has to be done the right way, you know, because once it's done the right way, I mean, the amount of lives that we'll be able to impact and change is amazing. And so that's why we want to do that. We don't want to make any mistakes, because we don't want anybody to lose the opportunity for a better life, basically.
So our human clinical
That's as
trial
far as
is
us,
from
but there are others going
in
on.
China, right? Because I saw.
Well, here in the U.S. too. So Cleveland Clinic is doing one with, I believe it's Crohn's. John Hopkins is doing one that we're working with them on, but part of, because we also have pharmaceutical company, right? So it's not just this. This is the reason we started doing the labs and whatnot, is because we don't want anybody to tarnish the name. We don't want anybody to turn this into a snake oil. You know, if it's not a one size fits all, you know, and you're gonna have a lot of these doctors who are trying to make a quick buck, who say, you know, the same way they did stem cell. Hey, come in, we'll cure 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. No, that doesn't work. So we don't want that to happen. And that's why we're trying to do our own clinical trials to prevent that. And, you know, and be able to make those claims.
So what about the record in China? The PLA.
There's a lot in
the
China
222
going on.
Hospital.
But yeah, but they're going on all over. Germany's actually the most advanced, which is Dr. Peter Shep. He's actually German. Germany is actually the most advanced, and we're catching. He's actually on now. We're catching up to them, you know. But in the U.S., there's a lot of case studies. So we're working on one with a pharmaceutical company. It's it's a little private right now, but we're in clinical trials. Volume. Volume.
Okay. Can you hear me, Dr. Shabi?
Hey, Peter.
Okay.
I'm good, sir. How are you? Thank you for taking your Saturday out for us.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you guys hear him? Is that loud enough? Or
Is it connected to a speaker? Can we connect it to the speaker?
now?
Can you speak?
Is it connected to the speaker?
Dr. Shabi, can you speak?
Yes. Yeah, certainly. So
But
can you hear me?
It's not connected to the speaker.
It's not. It's not.
Oh, it's not?
Oh, is everybody able to hear?
Is everybody can hear?
Okay. Hey, Dr. Peter, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but if you could give like a quick breakdown of exosomes, how it all came about, and what, the functions of it, basically. Just the science part, because I'm not the scientist here.
Yeah, sure.
Thank
Certainly. So I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So we started working on exosomes about 8 to 10 years ago, and the way it came about is everybody knows about stem cells, and we know the benefits of stem cells. But using stem cells has certain drawbacks and downsides. So they can sit in the body, they can multiply, they can cause issues, and so we wanted to focus on a cell-free solution where we don't have to deal with living cells, because if you freeze living cells, they're going to die if you don't treat them correctly. So the cell-free solution is basically exosomes. And what exosomes are, they're basically secreted by stem cells. And all living cells secrete exosomes. They are loaded with microRNAs, proteins, all kinds of enzymes. And initially, years ago, decades ago, scientists thought that exosomes are just nothing but trash vesicles that the cell packs up garbage and kicks it out of the cell. But we found out that exosomes are containing very beneficial proteins and enzymes. And like I said earlier, all kinds of cells make exosomes, but the exosomes from stem cells are the ones that contain very beneficial proteins. So they're basically 80 to 180 nanometer large particles. They are comprised of a cell membrane, basically like a living cell, but they're not alive. So they're just filled with particles, and they have the ability, once they're secreted from the stem cell, they can be taken up by any living cell in the human body. And the membrane will merge with the cell membrane and release the content of the exosome into the cell. So if we have proteins and cytokines and growth factors in these exosomes, they can actually transfer the content into a recipient cell. And there they can alter the metabolism of the cell, and they can help make the cell work better, function better. At Dynacord, we're using human umbilical cord. We grow stem cells from the human umbilical cord. We culture the stem cells, and then we harvest exosomes and other cytokines and growth factors that are not necessarily contained in the exosome. But our product is basically a combination of proteins, growth factors, cytokines, and the exosomes, and they themselves contain these same things. So that makes it a very potent biologic. We're studying this right now. We have several in vitro studies going on, in vivo studies, and molecular studies as well, characterizing all these different proteins that are in the exosome. So that's in a nutshell really what exosomes are and what they can do. Of course, it's much more complicated and much more detailed than I just summarized, but in basic words, that's what exosomes do.
Thank you, Dr. Shabi.
That's Dr. Shep. Does anybody have a question for him? I can get closer and ask.
Yes, I do.
Go for it.
I'm the nosy one. So once you inject the exosome into a body, does it have any kind of negative effects?
So
Has
he
it been
wants to
studied
know,
for that?
He wants to know, once you inject the exosome into the body, is there any negative effects? Astounding no.
So it all depends in the formulation. So our formulation, for example, and I think most on the market do this very similar. Our exosomes are in 0.9% saline. So in that respect, they're safe. We did have animal experiments where with Louisiana State University, where we actually injected high concentrations of exosomes into mice, and there were no adverse effects. The exosomes are very small, so there's no fear of obstructing any blood vessels or causing any negative effects in that respect. Our solutions are sterile, so everything is obviously done under sterile conditions, aseptic, and all product is tested and should be tested with USP 71, which is the sterility, and the USP 85 for endotoxin. And we also do a microplasma test of the product before it's released. So there are many safeguards in terms of the manufacturing, and because exosomes are so small and proteins in general don't really cause any negative effects, that's why we can say that's generally safe.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Does anybody else have a question? Please take this opportunity, because no one's gonna be able to explain it to you like Peter can. I'll tell you that, right?
I hope that was a summary that everybody can grasp. I don't want to get too much into the nitty-gritty details. It can go crazy pretty quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, is there a difference between stem cells and exosome, or exosome is the stem cell?
Well, exosomes are in stem cells, but
So
you
yes,
could break
so
them.
if stem cells are basically living cells that can divide and that will grow in the body. Exosomes are not alive, so exosomes are secreted by stem cells, and they contain a lot of beneficial factors that the stem cells themselves have. You also got to
Recording in progress.
there have been studies where stem cells, once they're injected in the human body, they don't really stay there too long. So it sometimes can take hours or a few days before they're cleared through the kidneys and then secreted out or broken down. So the exosomes are non-alive, they will not grow, and then with stem cell injections, there's a potential that you have tumor formation. If they start sitting somewhere and they start multiplying, then you can have potential for tumor growth. So that's not happening with stem cells because exosomes are not alive. They're just small particles, and they can easily be taken up by other cells. So they will never clump up somewhere and just sit there.
I love that. Anyone has other question? Otherwise, I'll.
Yeah.
Exosomes, can they be kept alive in any third party, like mix? You follow what I'm saying? Like a
Saline.
skincare, saline, yeah.
They can.
Okay, because
They can.
that's going to be the dermal side,
Well, we have a wound care.
wound care.
Yeah, we have wound care lotion and cream.
So they stay alive in that environment outside of a controlled refrigerated environment.
Yeah, and I'll let Peter answer that. So he wants to know if exosomes stay alive in a third party outside the refrigeration, if the exosome actually stays alive when it's going into the cream or a gel.
We are working on that. It's very difficult. So it's a tricky thing to show the stability of exosomes. In a solution, they will in a regular fridge, they will not last very long. Mostly because they start clumping up. Once they're in a gel or in a cream, the traditional detection methods are unfortunately not usable anymore because we're using one big method to measure exosome size is dynamic light scattering, and that relies on brown show the same potency as in the beginning. So the theory here is that the reduced motion, the reduced potential for actually sticking to each other will prolong the life of the exosomes. And they're, again, they're not alive, they're just membrane vesicles, almost like liposomes or, mostly liposomes would be a good comparison. And once they're stable in a stable environment, there's less likely the chance that they just pop open and basically release the content. So, but it's tough to say yes after 6 months to show in an experiment that they're still intact. It's very difficult.
Thanks.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the exosome is extracted from human, animals, plants?
No, human umbilical cord. Human umbilical cord. Newborn baby.
Okay.
And it's important to say, so when for example, when we manufacture, and there's actually an FDA requirement, there's no way around it. Everything has to be free of animal components in the manufacturing process. So everything we use to manufacture, to grow the stem cells, everything is free of animal product. There's a lot of traditional cell culture. If you culture cells, you require fetal bovine serum, but that's absolutely not allowed in the manufacturing of any potential human product.
Here's one that I think they're going to be asked, and I don't want to be the one to butcher it. So let's say someone has a knee injury, you know, they just had shoulder surgery, and they get an IV of, you know, exosomes, like let's say 5 cc IV. How does it go through the body and actually get to where it needs to repair?
So we know that exosomes have a lot of surface proteins that can actually merge with a specific set of cells. Now, is the exosomes from the whole 5 ml going just to that one location? That's hard to say, and that is hard to show. But in general, we also have all the other proteins, growth factors in the solution. So we're not 100% sure exactly how that works at this point, but we do know that exosomes have certain surface proteins that will allow them to merge with a specific set of cells, in this case the injured cells. But don't ask me about the exact mechanism, that's still a big question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How long does the exosome work once you receive the exosome? Does it work for a certain amount of time?
But case studies right now, I think are shown. But let's ask. I'm not going to answer that. So, how long are the exosomes working in the body after the injection? The actual, you're asking about what actually goes in, right?
Yes.
Not what it's actually kickstarts everything
Right.
else. Yeah.
That's a good question. They work as long until they're all taken up by cells, right? So, and that's really the only answer I can give you. There's specific number of exosomes in the product, and that's going into the bloodstream. And we also know that exosomes cross actually the blood-brain barrier, which is a very important thing. If you talk about certain brain injuries or neural diseases, again, we haven't done any studies on that, but there's a potential that exosomes can be very beneficial in neural diseases like ALS or Parkinson's and stuff like that. But how long exactly, I don't think that anybody has looked at that. I would say the answer is until they get taken up. And the other important thing is to say it's not just because they contain a lot of enzymes. There's been research that shows that once an exosome releases the content into the cell, it can actually change the whole cell's metabolism. So once you kick that cell in a certain way to do a certain thing, then it can go on for days, months, or weeks, weeks or months. So I'm not. It's difficult to quantify how long they will work eventually.
Yes.
After the treatment, how long can maintain from the body to the body? How long?
So her question is, after they get the treatment, how long does it maintain in the body? Which is, I think, the same question. So it's, you
Well,
can.
it's
long?
just, so I just want to say I'm a PhD, I'm not a medical doctor, but basically you get this injected. Usually, what to my knowledge, what's being done is the exosome product is injected into an IV bag. It's usually 100 milliliters of sterile saline that it's mixed, and then you get an IV, and that's it, and then you go home.
What I mean is, talking about like a people, like the people say, they want to keep beauty and healthy, right? So how many years they have to do it again?
So are you talking about someone that's just do it for regenerative, like just to
As,
stay, like, just to feel young and healthy?
Yes,
Every 6 months you could do it. It's up
but
to
there
you.
will be maybe
Every time you
5
start-
years or whatever.
No,
The money.
I mean, no. It's up to you. It's up to the individual. You know, because that's something that really can't judge. For example, like for me, I'm older than everybody here, right? So, for example, I take 5 cc's every 6 months just to keep things fresh.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I see.
But every individual, if they're not dealing with a direct injury, it's basically up to them and how they feel. You know, you can't really tell someone how they feel. There are guys, I mean, half the room here is healthier than I am. You know what I mean? We just had a buff dude walk in the back, so.
It's different. And when maybe they have money.
Oh yeah,
Can go
so
into
because it is true, because it does because what exosome is doing, what Dr. Shep was just describing was, it regenerates all these dead cells. So it's a communicator. It's not an actual cell itself, correct? It's going and telling the cells, hey, start working again, correct?
Any other question?
I actually do.
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
go ahead. Go
Let me
ahead.
just add that because a lot of people that previously got stem cell treatment or in research with stem cell have been applied. It is really thought that the exosomes themselves are actually the ones that even helps in the regular stem cell treatment. So if you receive stem cells in a treatment, stem cells are injected, they will sit in your body for a while, and of course, while the stem cells are in your body, they will start secreting exosomes. And so it is thought that there has been scientific research to show that it's most likely that it's not even the stem cells that do anything themselves, but that the stem cells in your body secreting the exosomes is actually what has the beneficial effect of the stem cell. But again, like I said earlier, giving somebody stem cells, actual cells, has a lot of drawbacks. Number one is getting them from the laboratory to the patient. Stem cells, all cells, when they're frozen in a laboratory environment, there's certain additives to make sure that the cells don't die while they're frozen. And technically, before you inject this would have to be removed and washed, and not every doctor's office or is equipped to do this in a correct way because it has to stay sterile. Right? That's the most important thing. So there's a lot of technical issues to get the product to in a way that you can inject it. And stem and exosomes don't have this problem at all because we extract the exosomes, we pack them, we make sure they're sterile, we send it out for testing, and then
Perfect. You had a question.
Yeah, I have a two-part question. The first question is that how long ago was exosome been discovered? How many years ago? And then I just heard you say that Germany was one of the most advanced country for to discover exosome and testing on
Are
it,
you
right?
trying to get Peter to wave his flag?
So when they did the all the studies and clinical trials and stuff in Germany, what did they discover as the most effective way of treatment? What kind of sickness that it
Were you able
effectively
to hear
treat?
that?
just if you can repeat it.
So in the early days when they were, when it was first discovered and the benefits of exosomes, what were they what were they treating with it?
What was the most
And
effective?
what was it most effective for?
I don't even know.
Yeah, that's a big. I could give you an example. Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
Exosomes brought. You know, he was supposed to be off 2 years, cut it down to 3 months recovery. You know.
Yeah.
That. Go ahead.
So our goal, and our goal, and that's a good question. But our goal is really to go out and see. We recently did a 6,000 protein study with our exosome product to see what proteins, enzymes are actually in the product. And needless to say, the majority of the 6,000. I mean, of course, there's much more, but the majority of the 6,000 were there. So we were talking about a product that probably has 10, 15, 20,000 different proteins, growth factors, and cytokines in it. And to say what exactly does it work, we have in vitro studies. We do a wound scratch assay, which is very traditional assay in the industry for wound healing. And we see that our exosomes, when you do the wound scratch assay, increases the wound closure by 200%. So it's basically twice as fast as under normal control conditions. When currently doing an angiogenesis assay, we had people put it topical on sunburns or UV damaged skin, and that disappeared within 3-4 days. So we also quantify certain growth factors in our product. So we have high amounts of transforming growth factor beta 1. So I don't want to scare you with all the names, but especially the TFG beta 1 is a growth factor that's highly important in wound repair, skin healing. So the potential for these exosomes in a topical cream are very high, and we have that, and then we're doing studies with them. We're in the process of actually filing an IND with the FDA here really soon for wound healing application of exosomes.
And then part 2, or was that 2-part?
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No?
I do.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, so my mom is in her late 70s and she's in a lot of pain. I'm looking to treat, for her. So asking the doctors, there's probably a lot of clinics or something like that in Germany or in America that's offering exosomes. So as a consumer myself looking for my mom, how do I know that clinic offer a product that is good or not good, or does the FDA?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's
Yeah.
a simple answer. If it doesn't say longevity on the window, don't trust it.
Okay.
That's a strong statement. Yeah.
You know, the dynamic we have here, and like Dr. Peter is explaining, is he took all the extra steps, to make sure that we set apart from everybody you're talking about. That was kind of what I was getting into. It's like the whole laundry list of claims. Exosomes isn't a one-size-fit-all. It's not going to cure all the diseases. You have a lot of guys who tell you, like Mexico, you go to Mexico, you can have any disease in the world. They're going to give you 20 million cc's of stem cell and tell you you'll be cured. Come back in 3 months and take another one. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. So the best way to see it is the ones who are making too many claims, I'd stay away from them.
Okay. And the other question is that, does FDA regulate the amount of, concentrated exosome inside those CCs?
No, but it's recorded. So, but I again, that's an answer for Peter. So does the FDA have a requirement on how many cells go into a CC?
No. I mean, that's your choice as a manufacturer. What the FDA wants to know is that it's safe, that what you're doing is not killing anybody, and that you don't go out and what you cannot do, and unless it's FDA approved, and this is with any drug, and unfortunately, or not unfortunately, but exosomes are considered a biologic, and they are a drug, and we actually have filed a drug master file with the FDA. But you have to undergo certain regulations in terms of sterility and So is a piece of cell debris. So is a clump of something else. Right? So if I just take water right now out of the faucet and put it in that device, I will probably count a few million particles that are the size of exosomes. That doesn't mean they're exosomes, right? So what is important, and we do the counting, but we also add protein testing. So we actually, when we quantify our exosomes, there's certain proteins on the surface of the exosomes that are specific only to exosomes, so you will not find these in other cells. And one of these is called tetraspanins, and CD81, CD9, CD63. This is just 3 of the most commonly accepted surface proteins that are on the outside of exosomes. So when we do our quantification, we're actually quantifying the CD81 and determine the number of exosomes this way. So it doesn't matter then if the DLS, the dynamic light scattering, tells us, oh, there's 100 billion in it, if there's only 20 billion exosomes in it. So that's an important thing. And a lot of companies caught up with that and doing that as well. It's just the right thing to do, right? I mean, again, if I can just take water, and there have been horror stories where people just basically put some cortisone and water, and then they say, okay, these are exosomes. And you get an injection, and of course, cortisone will work immediately and give you some relief of whatever ailment you have, but it's not going to last very long. So it's important to get the
So as a treatment provider, so on the exosome, do they have do we have the manufacturer liability?
No, so Dynacord is just manufacturing. That's our side of manufacturing. That's all it does over there. They don't do any, like the protocols are set, like he was saying, by the MDs as far as the treatment. So, but yes, it's back.
They don't
Yes,
have the
that's it.
liability by
Yes,
itself.
exactly. On the product, yes, our longevity will carry liability on it.
Yeah.
But
How much?
as long as it's
How much for the liability? That's
what do you mean?
Liability for if something
dollar amount?
happen, yeah, if something happen, we inject to the patient, and then something happens just because of prescription. So, yeah, because we all have our own liability, right? Even the facility, the medical facility, they have their own too. So we have double cover. But for the prescription,
that would be in your NDA and contract.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's on our best paperwork.
Yeah,
so-
yeah, that's
Yeah.
Peter doesn't deal with any of
Well,
that.
that's part of the insurance company, the insurance policy
Correct.
that you buy for the manufacturing as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
so
for example,
that's
if you
what I'm
buy
asking.
like $1 million or $5 million or
For the
10 million,
manufacturer.
The
How
product is
much?
protected, yes.
and then they have to buy the umbrella, maybe 100 million
Yeah, that's what
or
I'm
something like that, just to
asking.
cover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because a big umbrella with
Correct.
facility and also the medical doctor,
So
This is about
that's
to
on
cut
our
out.
side, that's us.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
if there's any more scientific questions, then we can get back to it. But if there's any more scientific,
Okay, one, have we seen anybody do any study on neurological damage exposed to exosomes?
by
By a
having
quadriplegic,
damage
yeah,
done
quad
by
or a pair?
exosomes?
No, the pair gets injured or quad gets injured. Has anybody done any research on
Oh,
what
yeah, there's tons
signaling
of it.
firing?
Cedar Sinai is doing it right now,
Okay,
alongside of us.
Okay.
So Dr. Kenneth Black over there, who heads neuroscience, is at Cedar Sinai, is working on a project.
perfect.
But yeah, that's something we'll get
I
into later.
gotcha.
But yeah, there's tons of it. Like the exosomes are being used in hospitals all over for research right now. You know, it's actually something real quick, I'd love for you to touch up on, but it's being hailed as one of the best deliveries systems in the world right now, as far as medical.
Peter?
Yeah, certainly, because there's also we're just talking about stem cell derived exosomes, but what you can also do is harvest these exosomes, load them with whatever drug you want, and then introduce them to the body. And the benefit there is, and this is all under research,
Peter, does the delivery of exosomes with another drug change the molecular structure of the drug at all?
No, you would just really load that. We can just like we can transform bacteria by electroporation and adding certain DNA fragments into bacteria for cloning. We can basically do the same with exosomes, where you can just have the solution with the drug. You have the exosomes. You can do electroporation, where you basically open up that membrane for a brief moment. The drug comes in and it closes back up. So there's we don't do that ourselves, but there's a lot of companies that are working on that, and there's a lot of research that's focusing on that. So yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, one of our biotech firms is actually doing that for lung
That's all
cancer.
part of the research.
It's incredible.
Any other questions? Because he's has to get off in about 5 minutes.
Got 5 minutes left.
So, question. So, when you inject the exosome into the body, does it have any kind of allergic reaction for patients or any kind of pain, like the vaccine?
I haven't seen or heard of pain, but I mean, again, I think that would go back to the person. Some people, they can get, antibiotics and get a rash. That just depends on the type of skin you have, but actually the exosomes causing anything, I haven't heard of anything. But again, you can't wave it out. It's kind of like when you go to the doctor, you're about to get, a nail removed or something. They're going to tell you might die. Again, you know what I mean? So in different bodies, different reactions, But as far as any adverse reactions that have happened or been recorded, none that I know of.
And in the manufacturing process, I mean, we were making sure there are no adventitious agents that are used that could cause potential damage. Everything is medical grade. Sometimes, if a company uses latex products in the manufacturing process and you have a latex allergy, that could be a potential, but I don't really think that is an issue. The exosomes themselves do not contain any antigens or so that could cause an adverse reaction. That's usually when you do blood transfusion, obviously you have to match that to make sure that you don't have adverse reactions. But that for stem cells and exosomes, that's absolutely not necessary because you don't have these signaling molecules that would cause an allergic or antibody response from the body.
Peter, I got one question. Can an exosome be put into a gel cap form to deliver a nutraceutical?
The problem is everything that goes to your stomach is going to be digested one way or the other.
Right.
Even if you do a capsule that you swallow, eventually in the gut it will get digested. So I'm not quite sure if that's a potential solution, but yeah, it's probably worth looking at it.
Thank you.
Is any testimony site we can see? Testimony. Okay. Okay. And also one more question. If I introduce people, so can I say, oh, because you have a headache, back pain, so can I say, how to say that, release a 60%?
Well, that depends on how many people you've helped. So let's say you've worked with patients, right? At your clinic, you've worked with patients and you've seen progress. Because the number one thing we don't want you to ever do is lie to the patient.
No.
We don't want you to lie to the patient. We want
Yeah,
you to be
yes, that's what I mean.
100% honest. So
I know.
if you've noticed that, hey, you're helping with migraines, you could tell them, hey, you know what, I've had so-and-so and it helped with his migraine. But you can't make the
Cannot
claim
say exactly.
saying that, yes, this
Oh,
will
okay.
fix the
Yeah.
migraine. Does that make sense?
Because I know because a lot of people have money, but they
Oh,
really
yeah.
headache, painful, and then back pain. So how can I do? I eat a lot of medicine, cannot help. I say, well, today I come here, right? Okay, I know that, but I'm afraid say if I say 100% guarantee cannot. I say how about maybe 50% or 60%?
It's like I said, it's theater, and it's a matter of what experience you have with it. You know what I mean? And there's a lot, like I said, there's a ton of case studies out there, that you can read and see and do, you know.
Yeah,
just
can
for
see
yourself.
all.
You
Okay.
can talk to Dr. Chung. Dr. Chung knows almost every case study there is. I mean, I get the case studies
I
at
gotta
1
ask-
o'clock in the
ask you
morning
later.
sometimes.
Thank you.
So,
I understand that.
but
Thank
yeah, does anybody else have any more questions or, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay, so I'm talking about the protocol.
Uh-huh.
So who wrote the protocol?
We
that-
have a protocol that follows all the
So we
FDA
just
guidelines.
follow all the
Exactly.
protocol.
We follow FDA guidelines to the T, no left or right.
Okay.
If it's not within that protocol, don't do it.
Okay. Thanks, bro.
All right? Well done?
Good.
All right, thank you, doctor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sharp. Have a good day.
Now go enjoy your Saturday.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy golf.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
It's tomorrow, but it's the weekend. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think yeah, that's a very good question to ask. I think most of the FDA, they're very cautious about people claiming cure. So you can say that it help treats.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the wording, like a lot of people don't understand and they say, oh, this cures you.
So as far as
can't say
that,
that.
yeah, we have a pretty large bond as far, but it's only for the product. So if a doctor messes up and uses, you know, the wrong gauge or whatever, it's not covered. But as far as the actual exosome, it's 100% covered. Everything. Like, so you don't have to worry about any of the things, as long as it's proved that, you know, the exosome caused something, then you're free and clear. But if it's doctor negligence, as far as administering or whatnot, that falls back on the doctor. So I hope that answers the question. But as far as the product, yeah, we have a bond that's with the,
How much?
so the bond is large.
How much is the liability?
It'll cover everything.
Everything.
Yeah, it's unlimited.
Whatever they
As far
find-
as the
Whatever
product.
they kind, the
Yeah,
patient.
exactly,
find.
as far as the product.
$1 billion still.
If someone awards them that, yeah. but-
More than $1 billion, yeah, alive.
Yeah,
Of
but
course.
it has to be proven that it was by the exosome.
Yeah.
Not doctor. Exactly, and then we have contracts for that. And then as far as the protocol, or US protocol, yeah, so we have a whole set protocol on how the administer, how to, the take-in, the write-up, I mean, A to Z. Because it all has to be done, documented, because at any time, the FDA can come in, because you are working with an FDA approved product for you to use. So at any time, they can come in and say, hey, are you making all these false claims? You say, no, here's my paperwork, because
That's what
once
you
you're in protocol, you don't have to worry about nothing.
Yeah.
They contact me, they say, hey, did you give her these exosomes? We say yes. They check the batch number, because your batch number with our COA to make sure that it's the same product and you're not buying product from somebody else and trying to say it's ours, and everything matches, they'll tell you, all right, thank you, have a nice day. You don't have that protocol, you're not following those guidelines, they'll shut you down. No questions asked. And that's why I say it's not worth it for anybody to do that.
Sure.
I mean, the product does work, the product does prove itself. As far as testimonials, yes, we have, Dominic can send that over, or one of the, yeah, we have football players who are here being treated, and they can give you, you could, actually, you might be able to play it for you guys before you leave.
Oh, yeah.
Kobe Bryant should be good.
Yeah,
Because
well, we have-
we'll know people. It's
Everybody
easier.
knows
Yeah.
that was what made exosomes popular,
Yeah.
because everybody wanted to know what it was, so all these
Yes.
athletes started going to Germany to get that.
Sorry, John.
And
Even
people-
you receive it, but you're not too. No, just kidding.
Experts, I don't have to
And
be
Yeah.
an expert. I have
people, we can have an insurance, policy and agreement.
Oh, yeah, it has
Yeah,
to be,
can you provide
well, it
that?
has to be.
Sure,
Yeah,
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, it has to be.
So I wanna just I mean, again, let's
Step out.
let's
I gotta
highlight,
jump
give
on
folks
another
a hand,
Zoom
he's
call
the
before-
chairman, give him a hand. He's the man. So, but wanna do real quick, we're gonna go through a couple slides and do a tour. But I wanna make sure you understand that for 6 to 7 years, almost 8 years, we've been on the marketing side of stem cells. So we had 3 clinics in the past that supplied my company stem cells, okay? So coming into this environment, we wrote protocols for medical procedures before the FDA actually had a protocol book. So we've got a journal from 2015 to teach a medical staff how to handle a stem cell or exosome delivery, the inspection, the set down treatment with the patient, the acknowledgement of the actual CLA of what product is in that that actual vial, and the customer signs off, or the patient, not customer, signs off that it matches. So we were doing that in 2015 with our old company. That's one of the reasons the partnership we have today is not just to bring those standards back to open up multiple locations of treatment. Our focus is we already have locations opening now, okay? The reason if you come to this office, you'll see me every day, is we're putting together a network of certified agents to go out and tell the story correctly, which is a good question. We can't say it cured ugly, so I'm still working on that one. So I'm saying this is important. Compliance in sales is why we're here, coming into the relationship. But the benefit is that we know exosomes work, we just have to be very careful, because our job on the marketing sales side, Doc, could you let that person in? They're trying to get in right now. So our job on the marketing and sales side is give people the opportunity to just have the office here call back and set the appointment. Yeah. Our agents in the field are not there to diagnose, treat, or even insinuate the exosomes will work for a potential patient. So our model is really simple. We're going to be certifying the agents in this office to go and tell the exosome story just to set an appointment. The customer service in the office will call back and verify the client wants to have we'll call it a triage or an initial interview, if you want to use that word. So make sure and close that, mute it down. So what happens is that as we start having people physically come in here to be treated, the benefit for us as a team is it's not our job to say exosome cures anything. Our job is just to get an individual to agree to come in here to go through an appointment with a doctor or a medical professional to evaluate them. The good thing about that is this is how we're going to eventually start advertising free exosome treatments. Our end game is to have enough clients and customers coming through this facility and others like it to have those people who can't afford this treatment that insurance is not covering at this time, to be able to have it go through a nonprofit where very similar to Shriners or the City of Hope, still hoping down the street, I won't go there. But the point is, there are a lot of people working to find cures of things, but funding is always the issue, and the focus is you have to give a hand up before you ask for a handout. And that's why the marketing department here will start pulling agents into this office weekly to get them certified. And as we have brokers elevate through the agency training, we'll start physically opening treatment locations. And those will be regulated by all the compliance in this facility, all the FDA compliance, and the individual in the field who helps get that location certified is responsible also to help that location with patients. Now I want you to think about what I just said. Compliance for sales, opening locations, and the agents and brokers will be supplying the doctors who are buying the technology from us with patients. Very interesting model, and it's getting ready to happen. So if you know a doctor who's considered stem cells, didn't want to do it because it's too gray, but don't know much about exosomes, imagine getting a location certified to do treatment, and also we're driving customers to get the treatment. So really, I don't care what pharmaceutical rep out in the street right now that may be considering themselves our competition, come Monday, they're going to get their ass kicked. Because going into this space, we own a television network doing over 180,000 TV commercials delivered a day right now. And we're going to give commercials free to all the doctors who buy from us. So how are you as a pharmaceutical rep going to compete with our agents? Might want to ponder on that one. So one of the biggest benefits, we got to tell the exosome story. We're going in a full court press next week in an industry that doesn't even know we're coming. So that's why it's important for you to be here, to have confidence about the product, confidence about the company. And with that being said, I know, William, where'd you run off to?
Yes.
I need you.
Yes.
So what happens is, as we move forward in the market, this is important. We're going to go through these slides real quick. Then we're going to do a quick tour. So I'm going to hand you over a smart person. Go ahead.
Wait.
A quick question is, we're talking about aging.
Yes.
And, this like medical related industry. I was wondering, does a license required to be a
No, but you have to be certified by us. I don't know. You still have a certificate?
Yes, that's
We'll show you a certificate later going through the tour. So when you go through our certification as an agent, you are going to take a test and you cannot cheat. But it'll be open book. So if you fail, it's on you. But we'll make sure.
I say in the book.
Yeah, yes. You'll have the manual too, and it'll be the same manual. You walk into come on, Joseph's gonna role play with me. Come on, you're my handsome brother. So what happens is, this is Dr. Joseph Chang. He basically has his practice in Longview, Texas, where I'm from. So he's a Texas doctor. She approaches him about using exosomes. He's like, oh my God, I don't want to go to jail, right? So her job as an agent is to give him full third-party validation of safety of exosomes and who we are and what our relationship is with the FDA. So now he's not worried about his malpractice insurance, is he? But if she were to tell him this could not only increase his patient recovery, but also increase his bottom line, what doctor's in business to go broke? Do you know why? So you got to be honest about life. A lot of people lie about, well, I'm a doctor, I'm just here to save the world. No, you're not, because you like to play golf every month, and that ain't free. So sometimes we got to get out of that mindset that you're in business to save the world. That's Jesus' job. I don't like Jesus, ain't happening. But the point is, he knows he can bring up technology to help patients that he can't do anything but prescribe drugs to them.
Yeah.
He's masking the issue. Exosome can't cure, treat, or diagnose, but if she does a good job to make him comfortable, all of a sudden we have another treatment location, don't we? This is not going to be hard. Thanks, Joseph. It's not going to be hard, because if we teach the standard the right way, from an agent point of view or a broker point of view, none of our actual locations are going to be out of compliance. And if they are, we'll shut them down. It's really easy to call and say, hey, you can't buy from us no more. You go to them dudes shipping it in from Mexico. Well, that's called fentanyl, different business. But the point is, you got to understand the standard you set as a company in a pharmaceutical environment will reflect how long you're in business. And it starts with your sales force first. Compliance, treating the patient, results, and then money. You have to have it that way, or you don't need to be in this industry. Compliance, customer results, and then your money. If you follow that, you can build a $5 to $20 billion a month company here in 2026. The day I wrote it down.
Yes.
So let me bring up William, because now you know why I'm here. I'm from Texas. You go big or go home. So we can come up and do these slides.
Thank
my
you.
brother. I'm out.
Before, hold on. I'm sorry. Before you do that, we left off at introductions.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
I can
Yeah.
continue.
She's
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
So she's
Let's do
first.
quick.
Please
Yeah.
continue then.
Hi, I'm Jenny. Jenny Huang. Around 45 years, I immigrate from Hong Kong. So now you know how I'm very old. And also within this year, I working in traditional business, like a wholesale business, doing like selling the woman accessory. Usually my area is in New York Chinatown, all over Chinatown, all around. So in Chinatown, a lot of people know me, right? And after like, you know who bring me to the M&L business? My mother.
Okay, thank you.
After I working this business, oh, so exciting. Every day, money coming, right? So I closed my business. And then within these 4 years, I'm lucky to meet Alice and Jane. They're so wonderful person. So I trust them. Whatever they say, Jenny, go, and then I go. I follow whatever.
So you're in New York. You live in New York.
They're so reliable and so honest. I love them.
Okay.
And so now today I'm from New York. Go over here. Actually, in my area, a lot of old people. and then everybody worry about the face ugly and wrinkle come out. So say, okay, maybe I come here see, and then maybe try to bring more information. Go back there. Maybe I can do something.
Sure.
And then and also make money.
Okay,
All right.
awesome.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh.
Yes, next one,
okay.
Jason.
Hi. I'm Jason
sorry.
Huang.
Mhm.
I'm from Las Vegas.
Okay.
And I immigration to Vegas
Okay.
in 2001. So I'm a real estate broker in 20 years, since 2003 actually. So I met Alex and Jin 4 years ago.
Yes.
And then we go into one of the big business right now, which we launch Nutraceutical. So and then John, we know for many years also, and then he bring us to the exosome.
exosomes.
So
Okay.
that's why
Welcome.
I'm here. Yeah.
Thank you. Welcome you. So that's a quick introduction about everybody, about a minute, and then we can continue our program. So how about start from here? Yes.
Hi everybody, I'm Olivia.
Okay.
I'm from Santa Ana, California.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
Fred Garcia here, was invited by my friend John.
Yes.
Just so proud to be here, an honor to be here, the very first meeting that we have here. And I know we're gonna be seeing each other often. So, don't know much about this, but I'm learning along with you guys. Thank you.
Okay, appreciate it. So how about let's just start from there, and we come back.
Hey guys, Josh, friends with Dominique.
Mm-hmm.
And I sell, broker anything that can help
Okay.
change the world.
Awesome. Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you. Next.
Hi, I'm Celine. I just come here about 5 days. Come from
Okay.
Taiwan, Taipei.
Okay.
I just visit my friend on vacation here from Cindy, so Cindy invited me from here.
Sure. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Cindy. I'm from Arcadia. So I'm from Taiwan too, and came to United States for almost 32 years, and I have my online business. So I'm glad that Jean invited us to come here to have this seminar. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Justin Lin, Semi, from Taiwan for 42 years, and local Arcadia. I'm real estate broker and waste management. And now I'm going to partner with the owner of this building and this facility, Dr. David Zhao, and we're going to form a brand new real estate corporation. And my primary job also project development. I can do any industry, cross industry, anywhere in the world. I bring top professionals and capital together and do the job.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm Ken, come from Hasenai, and I'm interested about stem cell and exome. So I come here to Justin invited me to here.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken. Dr. Chong? Okay, let him do the first. Okay, how about you, Eric?
Hello, I'm Aaron. I'm here interning for Jenny, and currently I'm an undergraduate student at Emory University.
Sure, sure. Jenny, you can use in the Mandarin, then I can translate it.
Yeah, I'm Jenny.
Yes.
Yeah, 我的执照是dental assistant，我是跟Dr. Chang，我们一起合作在 Orange City 和 Hawaii，Yeah clinical office。在过去7年，我一直都是 stem cell immune therapy exosome，Yeah。
Okay。
所以我们现在是是这个机构的卫星诊所。
Okay.
好，谢
So
谢。
let me translate it. Jenny's actually she's our business partner. She's actually currently managing her facility at the ONG and also Hawaii, which is the ONG's office is ready for service our customer. And by the July, probably middle of the July, the Hawaii's location also will be set up. So she's our first cell line office business partner. And we are welcome later on for all of our the customer can be served in Hawaii and also the Orange County area. So next one is the Dr. Chang.
I'm Dr. Chong.
Actually, it is my honor to work with this company. And I tell you, 3 months ago, I don't know exosome. I know stem cell, but I don't know exosome. Just like the study say that 1980, they already know that's exosome, but they don't know what it is. They think that it was a garbage. Until a few years back, then they start finding out, oh, it is something very important. So that's why I have some interest in that, and I did a lot of study about this thing, and I'm honored that William and the board had appointed me as a lead medical doctor for the group. Now my duty is to make sure we are following the FDA compliant. Okay, what my job is, any client you refer to us, we have to go to all the medical record, make sure they are in place, and then we will send all those information back to Louisiana State University, where they have a study team. They will evaluate that and they give us a recommendation as of what kind of disease, how many cc can we give it. Okay, so we administer the medicine here in this facility or any other facility. Okay, but last thing I want to tell you is, right now, according to study, 2,800 clinics in United States giving stem cell from 1,000 some organizations, but most of them are not in compliance. They already received over 400 warning letters.
Wow.
The letter goes out, and then if they don't respond, then the next step is they will end the license.
Yes.
Now, I'm a very chicken person. I don't want to do that. So I follow William and the group, and they are the only, so far, FDA approved drug master file program. So I don't want to involve in any other program, but this is the only one so far right now. So I'm happy to let you know, and I have the confidence that we will work good in this company here, and also with the big cell team, and they will do very well. And in the future, watch out for the stock. When they're going to go on IPO, go buy it.
Yes. Okay, thank you, Dr. Chang. Okay, so now you know that we have a big, what I call the elders in our group, so and that can help everybody here if there's some medical questions. It's actually involving with exosome treatment. So last one is I'm gonna introduce myself. My name is William Lin. I'm actually coming to US at 91. So I've been here for over 30 years. I do a lot of business consulting in the past. I also involving for the education. Lately, I jump into the biotech sector. The reason why is I'm a long-term chronic pain patient. Let me ask you the question: who's suffering the pain? Anybody? Always, right? Yes. But when you're suffering pains, then you will know. You will know when the people tell you I'm suffering the pain. Okay. So my vision and my passion is how to define some as alternative. The products that we can rejuvenate ourselves. Okay, so that's the reason why I'm joined to the longevity clinical research labs with the Faraz. When I know that there's the FDA drug master file status is granted. The longevity clinical research labs, which is our holding company, we do a lot of the different business alliance. So we are involving for the gene editing kits called Cas9. The development team are working for the second version. Okay, so it can be diagnosed as over 300 plus genetic disorder syndromes.
Wonderful.
Furthermore, our holding company also aligns with the pharma company. They are developing for the oral drug types to fight for the COVID. So that is in the phase 2B's clinical trial right now. So within the next 6 to 8 months, we probably can finalize the entire research and grant it for the FDA 510K, and then we can launch to the market. Furthermore, the another business that it's our equity partner. They are using our exosome products to do the biomarker to diagnosis for the prostate cancer, breast cancer.
Oh.
Okay, so this is our holding company. But welcome everybody to join with us for Longevity Clinical Research Institute, which is this is our base. We're gonna do a massive the clinical trial research in this facility and also with our satellite office. So our vision is within the next 6 months, like John says yesterday to me, say, hey, William, trust me, within the next 6 months, we probably have over 1,000 agencies.
Wow.
Okay, we're working with us. Okay, we're gonna tell the people that spending a lot of money, go to Geneva, go to Germany, even Mexico, George Jeju Island to do the treatment. But at this moment, none of other company can competing with us. So fortunately, I welcome everybody at this beginning stage to join with us and let it grow together.
Sure.
Yes.
Sounds good?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah.
How would you qualify to get a free share before you go IPO?
Very important question.
Okay, but today.
Whoever sit in this room.
Yes.
So excited.
Yes, talking about the go-to IPO, it's a very exciting. So I believe in this room we have many different specialists that have a tremendous experience on the finance side or going public. And I heard probably 70% that people here is all involving with the real estate. Right? Okay. Yes. I'm also too. I'm actually part of the direct lender that we are registered at the hub as a private lender. Okay. So I know. Okay. Everybody have the same minds here. Okay. So let's just set our target straight, and I believe it within the next 12 months, or even faster once you join the program. And every one of you will have the opportunity to experience of the exosome treatment. So stay tuned. Okay, this is just a break. Okay, and so the marketing programs, trainings will be started as soon as we're taking break and come back, right?
Take a break and then bathroom break tour. And
Okay.
we'll start.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you very much, and I welcome everybody here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's take about a 10-minute bathroom break, stretch your legs, shake the webs out, and then William's going to help us with a tour. What we want you to understand is that all the cubicles. Hold on, Doc.
Let me help them.
No, yeah, he's translating. So here's what's important. All the cubicles you see out there, once we start on Monday, our focus Monday is we're going to go into a massive hiring process. And what that's going to be determined by is the amount of appointments we set. And so, yes, it's going to be a direct sales company, before you ask. So the key is, our job is to be able to have us create agents and brokers that do nothing but set appointments. We don't ask about HIPAA. We don't take medical information. You set an appointment. The call center out there will call back and verify, go through the whole HIPAA process for appointment patients, and you get paid. So let's take a quick break. We'll do a tour, come back, do a presentation on that, answer questions, and try to get you out of here as fast as possible. Is that okay?
Great.
Cool. Let's break it up.
Thank you.